Hey everyone, Curtis from TeachBeacon. Recently we've been talking to some teachers and some administrators local to our area about how they're doing with virtual education, some of the challenges that they've run into, and it's clear that there are many of them. So a lot of teachers are feeling overworked. They're trying to manage curriculum in one set of tools and do virtual training somewhere else, and then social collaboration somewhere else, and then all of that starts to be a lot, and then entering grades and all of these things. And they're feeling burnout because they're trying to do so many things, and the tooling just isn't there to help them out. So we took a look at the tools that they're currently using, and we compared that to TeachBeacon to see if we could find some efficiencies for them in what their current process is. So that's what I wanted to go over in this presentation. We're going to be comparing the Google Suite, G Suite for Education, and TeachBeacon, and kind of where those efficiencies can be gained. Because that's one of the main tools that teachers are using that we talk to. So again, just to level set, the purpose of TeachBeacon is to solve those two main problems. One, in education, we're seeing that a lot of schools are using lots of different tools for lots of different things. It's hard to integrate all of those. It's hard to make them talk to each other. It's hard to be in several different systems, not only for teachers but for students. And it's just it's a burden that we shouldn't be having to deal with. We want to get back to teaching and learning. So that's one. And two is a lot of these tools aren't even custom built for education. Like Google Meet, for example, is just a meeting platform. But for virtual education, you need additional things like you need to be able to mute participants, and you need to be able to have a whiteboard and do breakout rooms and lots of other features that a classroom should have that Google Meet or other meeting platforms may not have. So that's across the board. A lot of these tools just don't, they're not purpose built for education. So ours brings all the capabilities together in one, and then also all of those capabilities are very purpose built for education. And so we think we have something here that is really going to help a lot of people. So let's get into it. So the 4 pillars of virtual learning, from our perspective, that we built into this platform are 1, the virtual instruction, so that's the virtual classroom. Okay. 2, the on-demand curriculum, so being able to have a full LMS with all the curriculum that you need stored there and ready to deploy when you need it. Also the ability to create additional curriculum with drag and drop tools that makes it very easy to do that. And then you can mix on-demand with virtual instructions so that there's no gap there. Reinforced learning, right? So you have testing, you have assignments, you have feedback, gamification, social and academic performance, all this tracked in real time. And then you have the social collaboration aspect of it, which is really important since everyone is so siloed nowadays, and that we can't meet together a lot of times. So having collaboration tools so students can learn together is another really important feature. So all of that is wrapped into TeachBeacon, into the TeachBeacon platform. Okay, so here we're going to talk about bridging the gap from what we're used to from traditional learning to the current virtual learning environment that is happening. How do we bridge that gap and make it simple for people? So number 1, for traditional learning, teachers usually have full control of their classroom, right? They have tools at their disposal to engage students, and they're right there with them. In virtual learning nowadays, it's not like that. It's hard for teachers to engage with students through a virtual platform that's not built for education. So, in the TeachBeacon platform, teachers have full control of their virtual classrooms. They have student control. They have control of what's being shown. They have control of breakout rooms. They have control of the whiteboard. They can basically build the experience like they want it to mimic the traditional learning environment. Okay. Another one is in the traditional environment, students and teachers have access to learning content. They have textbooks and they have worksheets. All of these things are right there in the classroom for them. In the virtual learning environment currently, that's all over the place. Sometimes it's in Google Docs somewhere, and sometimes it's in Dropbox, and sometimes it's here or there. And how do you tie that into the virtual classroom? And it's so hard for teachers to do this, and needlessly, right? So in TeachBeacon, we combined all of those things. So all of that content is integrated into the virtual classroom. Students can access it right there, or they can access it in the on-demand portion, where they can take the videos or the lessons or the materials. They can download them. They can see them in the virtual classroom. It's all tied into one, so it's very easy. Okay, another one is in the traditional learning environment is students can interact with each other throughout the day. And that is not possible usually in the current virtual environment. And so what TeachBeacon does is, in addition to the virtual classroom and all the material controls, is we have the ability for peers to safely interact with each other. So student to student, teacher to teacher, and teacher to student. We have collaboration tools, forum tools, chat tools. All those things, again, are built into the experience, so it's all in one. And then students are held accountable for their schoolwork in a traditional environment. Currently entering grades and trying to get assignments and trying to grade those assignments and figuring out who's uploading what where and who's grading what and where do we put this into the system and who can see those grades so people can track it. It's a huge burden. So again, in TeachBeacon, all of it is in one. You have the ability to do quizzes, tests, assignments. You can upload assignments, you can grade things, and all of that is wrapped into one platform again. So you don't have to go anywhere else to find any of these things. It's just all in one browser-based platform. And so that bridges the gap so that now with a TeachBeacon virtual learning environment, it mimics the traditional learning environment as closely as possible and keeps it easy for everybody. Okay, so now we're going to get into the Google Suite for Education and how some of this compares. Okay, so currently you look at G Suite for Education and you have sort of this universe here of all of these tools: Jamboard, grading software, and LMS, and Meets, and Class Dojo, and Gmail, and Slides, and Docs, and Sheets, and Forms, Google Plus, and all. None of those things are really tied together. They're all separate tools that all kind of live under Google, but they're not in one platform. And so then you have students and teachers going all these different places, and it's a huge administrative burden and headache. Okay, TeachBeacon, on the other hand, is one tool. Okay, all of those capabilities reside in one tool, so you go to one place and you can do it all right there. Okay, so now the 4 pillars of virtual learning, which we went over. How does G Suite for Education compare to TeachBeacon? So for virtual instruction, we ask, does virtual instruction allow teachers to teach and students to learn? Okay, in TeachBeacon, absolutely. The entire experience is virtualized. Again, you have whiteboarding, you have control over the camera, the audio, the video, the presentation controls. All of those things are in your control. In G Suite, you don't have that. A lot of times students are talking over teachers. There's no way to mute students or mute a classroom so that you can discuss things or give someone presenter rights. It's all a free-for-all, and that gets really crazy really fast. There's no whiteboarding, there's no video controls, there's no private chats. All of these things that we know are needed to have a good virtual education experience. So that's the virtual instruction. On-demand curriculum. Okay, the question here is, can students access the right materials at the right time? And can teachers easily create and administer those materials? Okay, in TeachBeacon, absolutely. We built it to be able to do that. Everything is synced into the classroom. We have modern course authoring tools, so you can build more content if you want to on the fly. Or you can sync up your LMS and sync up all of your content into the system where it's all secure and it can all be deployed into whatever classroom you need, so the students can get to it very, very easily. Okay, in G Suite, no, you have to use a lot of tools to do this. Maybe it's in Google Docs or Google PowerPoint or whatever, or Slides, and then how do you lock that down and all of these things, and that's not tied to the virtual classroom. It starts to get really messy. Okay, reinforced learning. Okay, the question here is, do students get real-time feedback, and can parents, admins, and teachers easily access and address student progress? Okay, in TeachBeacon, absolutely, because that's part of the process that we designed it for. So on-demand content is graded in real time, attendance is taken automatically, all of those things are synced to the gradebook. You can see them all in reporting, not a problem at all. No extra time for administrators to figure out how all that ties together. It's all done. G Suite, no. So grading is notoriously hard. People are using Google Forms and trying to sync that to a gradebook, and it's really, really hard to get that done in G Suite for Education. Okay, and that was one of the main pain points actually that we were hearing. So social collaboration as the last one here. The question is, can students safely and easily collaborate with peers and teachers, and can they get help easily? So in TeachBeacon, absolutely. Students can engage students and teachers through the chat functions, through the forum functions, through one-on-one coaching sessions. All of that is available to them right there again in the platform. And in G Suite, you really can't do that. And there's no controls over anything, and it's just a total free-for-all. So none of that really is available there. Okay, so the outcome here, so comparison of some of these points that are important for getting virtual education done. Okay, overall ease of use, TeachBeacon is very easy to use. G Suite for Education, because it's all over the place, it's not purpose-built, it's just so expansive, very, very difficult, okay? Virtual instruction, teachers have full control over their classroom and lots of features to help engage students in that virtual classroom. G Suite, you don't have any of that, so it's very hard to have a virtual class. On-demand curriculum, TeachBeacon has that, G Suite does not. Reinforced learning, TeachBeacon yes, G Suite no. And down the line, right? Social collaboration, reduction of burden for teachers and students and administrators and parents. Number of tools that are required to do everything in TeachBeacon is 1. And in G Suite, it's 12, it's a dozen plus tools. So that starts to get very difficult very fast. Okay, so TeachBeacon can reduce the time maintaining curriculum, okay, because all of that lives in TeachBeacon. Again, you can author it, you can bring it in from your LMS, and all of that is managed there and deployed to different classrooms as needed. You can copy templates, you can do all of those things right within TeachBeacon. It was built partly to be able to manage curriculum and materials and allow students very fast access to those materials in a controlled way. Okay, reducing confusion. Again, when students are trying to get something done and they have to remember, here I go to Google Forms, and here I go to Google Meets, and here I go to Google Docs, and here I go here and there and there. For TeachBeacon, all they do is go to TeachBeacon, and they're done. And everything is right there. They have a little dashboard that tells them what they need to do that day, and they're off learning, which is what they should be doing. Same thing for teachers, right? They go one place to manage everything, and that's it. Okay, increased productivity. Obviously, if you're not going all over the place, and teachers and administrators don't have to spend time trying to integrate data and do reporting and figure out what goes where, TeachBeacon does all of that for you. Insane levels of productivity are gained, and people can, again, get back to teaching and learning. Okay, increased collaboration. Again, collaboration tools are built right into the platform. They're all ready to go, and so that is now a capability that's very easy to do. So TeachBeacon is the whole deal. It's 100% of what you need for training, for teaching, for educating in our schools. And we really feel like this tool can help so many people, and it can help the students learn, can help the teachers get time back, so they don't go crazy trying to manage all of these things all the time. And we really invite you guys to try it out. So we're happy to jump on a demo, see if this can work for your school, see how it can gain efficiencies, and see how we can get it deployed for you so that you guys can get back to teaching and educating. So I appreciate your time. Hopefully this can work out for you guys, and I hope to hear from you.